Hey everyone, J-Hysteria here again, and it is another Funko-tastic Friday. Not a big one, but hey, it's gonna be a fun one. Today I'm wearing a PlayStation symbol shirt. Hope you're loving it. So, kind of getting the ball feel that this is gonna be a PlayStation exclusive character. Who could it be? Well, one of the greatest, one of the strongest, one of the most powerful PlayStation characters of all time. It is Kratos, the God of War. Now, some of you may be asking right now, but hey, J-Hysteria, isn't the god of war Ares from Greek mythology? He was. He was. In mythology, Ares is the Greek god of war, and that's where Kratos' story begins. In the original series, Kratos was a Spartan general, and he was very successful, very powerful. Nobody could top the Spartan army, you know, Spartans. And one day he came across a pretty nifty barbarian army led by a very powerful barbarian general. And so he begged to Ares, grant me the power to destroy my enemies. So Ares, the god of war, gave him his strength, and he started just absolutely wailing on the barbarians and won the war. But it came with a lot of baggage. One day Ares took Kratos' family, dropped them in the middle of a random village that they were attacking, and Kratos killed his wife and daughter. It's very sad, very dark, but it's how he became the ghost of Sparta, because his skin was covered in the ashes of his family, and he always had that like red line across his face. It was like his warrior mark, you know. Let's see if I can set him right here. Booyah! And then he wanted revenge, so he killed Ares, became the god of war. And sorry to kind of rush through. There's a lot of in between storyline, but since I want to talk about this version of Kratos specifically, I'm gonna try and like rush to it as quickly as possible. Basically became the god of war, took over, and it started ignoring the other gods because they were telling him like this is not what a god does. He doesn't show favoritism towards the mortals. He shouldn't do that. And so he started fighting against the other gods. And honestly, to make a long story short, because his story pans over about 7 games now, I want to say 7 different games on like 2 different game systems, three different game systems. Basically, if it exists in the Greek mythology, he's probably killed it more than one time, or at least once, at least. But yeah, basically where the story of this version of Kratos starts, I'm going to get a closer view of that because I didn't show y'all him outside the box. He's got like some shoulder pads there, got an amazing beard, a little scar on the eye, and his warrior mark. And usually he's wearing nothing but like a loincloth. And he has his like go-to weapons, the Blades of Chaos. But this version was for the PS4, and in this version, he didn't have the Blades of Chaos anymore. He put them away because he didn't want to remember his old life, because of all he had to do in order to get where he was. So now he uses a weapon called the Leviathan Axe, and the Leviathan Axe is kind of like a frost mainly weapon, 2-handed axe. He can throw it around and it will come right back to him, kind of like Thor's hammer, which is actually pretty crazy because in this version of God of War it came out this year and it was for the PS4. He's taking on the Norse gods now. He killed all the Greek gods and now he wants more gods to be rid of. Actually, he doesn't even want to kill them at first. He just wants to live in sanctuary. He wants to hide away. He fell in love with the woman who was actually a giant, and they had a kid together. His name is Atreus. I don't have his pop, but his pop is out there. So if y'all want to hear more about Atreus, the son of Kratos, the god of war, I would be more than happy to get a hold of him and do a review. But basically, he just wants to live in silence. He lives in the middle of the woods in Midgard. He's just enjoying a happy life with his son. And then next thing you know, this strange man, this marked man, his name was Baldur, attacked. And he wanted to feel pain once again because he was cursed with immortality and invincibility, so he couldn't die and he could never feel pain. So he wanted to go find the legendary god of war, also known as the Ghost of Sparta, to see if he could make him feel again. And while Kratos put up a fight and basically beat him, it wasn't enough for him. So he's basically spends the entirety of the game torturing Kratos, constantly attacking him. And then I believe it's his nephews, the sons of Thor. They join in on the action too because they want to get rid of Kratos. And all in the meanwhile, while Kratos and Atreus are going on this adventure to... their main goal in the story is to spread the ashes of his wife on the tallest mountain in all of Midgard. And they end up in Jotunheim, which I don't want to spoil too much. The game's been out long enough, but I want y'all to experience that story for yourselves. They're just constantly attacking him, and in the meantime that he's fighting them off and going on these adventures and fighting these random creatures like draugrs and trolls and dragons and just absolutely amazing creatures, they are actually in the course of causing Ragnarok. And for those of you that don't study mythologies, Norse, Greek, any of them in general, in Norse mythology, Ragnarok is basically the end of days for everyone. The world serpent, who is basically long enough to stretch around Midgard twice, which is also a character in the game, if y'all decide to play it. Fun little character there. And basically gets in a fight with Thor, and the story itself is pretty back and forth because over the years and centuries the tale has changed many times, but basically in the story Kratos is the cause of Ragnarok, and it's just a great tale. Like I said, I don't want to spoil too much because it's a really good story, and it's a whole new change of pace for the game. Like most of the God of War games would be held at, like, the camera would be at like a distance, so all you could see is like kind of like a small version of Kratos, while in the enemies you can see him coming in. In the new God of War, it's much closer, like, so that you can kind of feel like the experience. Way better details, of course, because it's on a newer game system. And like I said, instead of the Blades of Chaos, you're using the Leviathan axe, and it kicks tail. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty impressive. But yeah, that's about it for Kratos, the God of War. He honestly, if you want to know more about it, you can go play the game. It's great. If you got a PlayStation 4, boom, there you go. If you don't, feel sorry for you. But yeah, that's our Funkotastic Friday review on Kratos, the God of War. If y'all enjoyed it today, hope y'all leave a like and a comment. And if you feel like it, come on down and subscribe. I would love to have more people to share my love with. But yeah, that's all for now. Until next Friday, thank y'all so much for joining me. I'll be sure to see you next time. Bye.